What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rust Belt Builds. Today we have a tune-up, fresh spark plugs. We'll take a look at the old spark plugs. It tells us a lot about how this car is running. And also, we have collector extensions, maybe possibly some straight pipe action. So stick around for this video. Thank you guys for watching. All right, everybody. So here's our new plug. It's an NGK V-Power. It's a racing plug. Part number is Romeo 5671 Alpha-7. It's a 7 heat range plug, 3/4 inch reach, and it's a washer style plug or a gasket style plug. It's not beveled. Check this out. Here's the old plug. I don't know if it'll focus, but as you can see, absolutely richer than Donald Trump. So that's telling us a lot about how this car is running. Granted, this plug is like 3 or 4 months, probably 3 months of just raw abuse all over this plug. It's just fuel. This is not oil, it is fuel, I promise. It's beat up. So we have a fresh set of plugs here, and just so you guys can take a look at it, here's all 8 of them. So there is not just a problem cylinder, all of the cylinders are a problem. So we got a fresh set of plugs. We have header gaskets because, as I'm gonna explain here in a second, I kind of messed up when I bought these aluminum heads with the headers that I already have, just because you have to take the heads off to get the spark plugs out ergonomically, which is not a good idea, not good for our case, but that's what we have to do because we are not rich men north of Richmond. As I stated in the intro, we also have these collector extensions, or just straight up 3-inch stainless pipe. Kind of got tired of the mufflers being directly underneath the driver and passenger seats, and also they had to go on there at like an angle underneath the car, just how the body works and how the headers and their collectors are coming right off the motor. So it's gonna get the mufflers and the heat away from the transmission. One of our mufflers is blown out right now. I'll show you that in a second. So we're gonna have to get new mufflers. So I went ahead and was just like, all right, cool, we'll just get these anyways, because I really want to put an actual exhaust system on this car. Nothing quiet, you know me, I want to cause havoc, but that's coming in this video too. I'm going to show you guys the mufflers, and then we're going to get straight to the work. So if you can hear that rattling around in there, one of the baffles has completely cracked off the weld, and it's kind of just floating around in there. So kind of changes the sound a lot. I mean, not a lot, but you can kind of tell. It's almost like it's, you know, it's just bouncing around in there with every pulse of the engine. So it's a little quieter, a little louder. It's kind of weird. So we're gonna have to get a new muffler. Granted, these are just the Jegs mufflers, so they're not Flowmaster. I really don't know if it would have done the same thing if it was a Flowmaster, but we'll just say that it wouldn't have, because this is the cheapo muffler. I do believe that these come pre-gapped at like 30 thousandths, but I think we're gonna run a pre-gap of, or I think we're gonna run a gap of 40 thousandths on this car. We always have, it's always worked. Well, worked. I mean, I guess you could argue if that worked, but around here we're gonna run 40,000. I don't have anyone above me to tell me not to. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna gap these at 40,000, and then we're gonna start throwing them in. $40,000. There's our 40 thousandths mark. Right there. There it is. That's all 8 of them, gapped at 40 thousandths. You know, go throw RIP Trevor down in the comments. He's got a tight hold on him. He's fighting through it, doing God's work. So we're gonna throw these plugs in the motor, and then we're gonna keep stepping. If anybody wants this car, hit me up. It'll be on Marketplace, $2,700, Central Ohio. Come and take it. Bring a trailer. You're not gonna need a trailer, but it'd be cool to do burnouts on the back of your trailer.
All right, everybody, here's our nice and shiny and crusty aluminum heads here. I'm gonna cross thread these spark plugs in. I'm probably doing this wrong because, like I said, the header has to come off to get the spark plugs in, so I think it might have to go halfway on to get the spark plugs back in. But we're gonna find out. Measure once, cut twice around here. I did have to pull the plugs back out to sneak the header up on there. Our nice and painted headers are no longer nice and painted, but that's just like the rest of this operation around here. So there we go. This header is on, spark plugs are tight, header bolts are tight. Missing one header bolt right there. We're gonna rock with it. Same thing on the other side, so just repeat that procedure, jack the car up, sneak the plugs in, sneak the header in, good to go. I had to make a quick stop at Home Depot because as I was putting the headers on, I noticed that at least 2 of our bell housing bolts have decided to just exit the atmosphere. No idea where they went. So we have 2 that are 1.5 inches long, and then we have 2 that are 1 inch long. The internet says 1.5 inches. I'm gonna go with that, but just to be safe, I got 2 of them that are 1 inch long, and then obviously some washers. So we're gonna go back home. The passenger side is all buttoned up. Plug wires are on. So we're just gonna do the other side, and then I'm gonna clamp on those exhaust pipes, and then you guys are gonna hear, actually we both are gonna hear the car fire up for the first time, open header, in like 3 weeks. I think I haven't driven it in 3 weeks because the plugs have been just completely shot. So literally here are the bell housing bolts that decided to leave the chat. Both of these on this side. And yeah, I need to clean some oil up off this thing. It's a Chevy, it leaks. If it's leaking, it's got it. But here's our bolts here. I'm gonna go ahead and sneak those up in there so that this thing doesn't want to do the backflip somersault 3000 on us. Both sides buttoned up. All the plug wires are on. Everything's in proper firing order. We didn't get to use the collector extensions purely because the clamps that I have for them are junk, like AutoZone clamps, and they're not gonna hold them on there. I'm not gonna drive around, have them fly off on the road. But that's cool because we get to hear it straight open header with this choppy cam that has literally been sitting for 3 weeks, all undone. So this is like the truest cold start you can get, besides it being 20 degrees outside.